नो एंड इन साइट इज़ व्हाट ट्रम्प हैज़ सेड टिल नाउ। मेरे को ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि ये वाला केस इतना टाइम से चल क्यों रहा है एंड दे हैवंट इवन रीच्ड अ डील येट, व्हिच इज़ एब्सोल्युटली इनसेन गिवन कि यूएस कितना पावरफुल है एंड लाइक व्हाट इज़ इवन गोइंग ऑन? ये चीज़ भाई बहुत पहले ही खत्म हो जाना चाहिए था।
So, in the meantime, President Trump trying to crank up the pressure on Iran, issuing a new warning to Oman as the standoff over the Strait drags on. The president also making clear that stopping Tehran's nuclear program is his top priority.
On the expiration of the Memorandum of Understanding, are you any closer today to reaching a final deal to end Iran's nuclear program?
Well, they want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. Look, we're in there for one reason. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You understand that? Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon.
All right, picking up our coverage again today, Trey Yanks live in Tel Aviv joins us now. Trey, hello.
Yeah, hey, Bill, good morning. With the Memorandum of Understanding expired, both the United States and Iran have indicated the status quo will continue with no deal on the horizon. Overnight, another vessel was targeted in the Strait of Hormuz with an unknown projectile. This is taking place while Iran and Oman continue talks about the strait. The U.S. naval blockade remains in place, and President Trump has warned Oman against getting in the way as he pursues a better deal. Now, the Iranians have also released new statements about the conflict, with the country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, saying in part, quote, patience, solidarity, and hope are the keys to Iran's resilience in the face of ever-increasing external pressures and threats. And Iran's parliament speaker saying this.
And let me make it clear. Until America implements its commitments under the Memorandum of Understanding, including lifting the blockade, on the release of frozen assets, lifting the oil sanctions, adding threats and military operations on all fronts, and other conditions that America has agreed to, the strait will not be reopened.
On Monday, U.S. negotiator Jared Kushner indicated that conversations are still taking place with Iranian officials. He added that President Trump will wait for the right deal.
Where do negotiations stand with the Iranian regime?
Yeah, so right now, President Trump's been very focused on the economic pressure. He really feels strongly about the blockade. If you look at the Iranian economy, it's way worse off. It was bad before the war. It's way worse off now. But President Trump's been very clear on why he took the actions he took, which is he believes that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if Iran is willing to, finish the deal that they've been discussing with us to give up their ability to create a nuclear weapon, then obviously he's willing to make a deal that could be great for the Iranian people, and he's it's something he would be open to. But right now, they're not showing any interest in doing something that makes sense for us.
एंड द थिंग इज राइट नाउ ट्रम्प के अंडर कुछ कंट्रोल में ही नहीं है। वो अमेरिका में लाइक मिड टर्म्स आ रहा है, तो मेरे को नहीं लगता कि लाइक वो लोग अभी लाइक ईरान में जाएगा और ईरान अपना खुद के चीज़ का ही डिमांड करना स्टार्ट कर दिया है। लाइक व्हाट इज इवन गोइंग ऑन हियर? इंस्टेड ऑफ पीसफुल रेजोल्यूशंस वी आर गेटिंग दिस।
Right now, the region is stuck in a cycle of talks and strikes. There are no indications this will change in the coming weeks. Bill?
Trey, thank you. Trey Yanks, Tel Aviv. Dana.
Let's bring in Rebecca Heinrich, Senior Fellow at the Hudson Institute. While we were watching Trey's report, we noticed that the Iranians, they feel pretty comfortable to all get together now. Rebecca, that's different.
Yeah, it is different. And Dana, the Iranians haven't backed off their original demands. And in fact, they're making more audacious demands, even publicly now, saying that they want the United States to remove the blockade. They want reparations for the military activity that has already taken place. And clearly, President Trump is very frustrated with the Omanis. The Omanis are an ally of the United States. But if the Omanis are suggesting that they may be okay with the Iranians doing things like demanding tolls of the strait, clearly that's not going to work for President Trump in the United States, and he's making that very clear that the Iranians, under no circumstance, with Oman or not, they cannot control the strait at all.
Jack Keane with us yesterday. Iran threatening again. This is what he thinks. Watch.
I have been saying, and I think the Wall Street Journal has picked up on it from their sources, that the Iranians likely, given the midterm elections are coming, will increase the volatility and violence in the area to demonstrate to the American people that the management of the war is not going good.
Okay, 77 days away from that vote. How much credence do you give that theory?
I think that that's right. I mean, President Trump clearly has settled into this preference of a strategy to dry up the Iranians' ability to reconstitute some of their military by this economic blockade, by increasing sanctions, and then by trying to get some ships, as many as we can, along the coast of Oman. But as you just heard from Jack Keane, we do know that the Iranians are going to be busy trying to do exactly what we don't want them to do, which is reconstitute their military forces. And they're going to try to embarrass President Trump by shooting at these ships in the Strait and by trying to undermine his efforts to move oil. And they're going to do it because they understand that the election is coming up and President Trump does not want to resume military operations. And so I'm of the mind that the sooner the better. The United States does have to resume military operations alongside the Israelis, who have been very helpful for the United States in degrading the Iranian capabilities.
And we also heard from Jared Kushner, who had met with the Hamas, and he spoke to Trey Yingst. He gave a little bit more detail on those conversations. Watch here.
I mean, they said all the right things, but obviously it's very, very hard to trust, a terrorist organization that committed these terrible atrocities. But we had a very cordial meeting, and they said all the right things. And so we're going to give them a chance to perform, but it's going to have to be based on actions and steps. And I hope it will be true.
What will you be looking for as this continues?
Well, I mean, Hamas has to actually completely lay down their arms and comply with this effort to destroy essentially all of the tunnels that Hamas has dug along Gaza before the Israelis can leave the area. And so I think that the magic words from
At the end of the day, you can only pray कि ये मैटर जल्दी खत्म हो जाए, वरना इतना सारा चीज ड्रैग हो रहा है तो कॉमन आदमी ही सफर करेगा.
Jared Kushner there was that he gave to reporters is that they're not, the United States is not going to pressure Israel at all to leave the region until Hamas is gone. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for. But it's not going to take much looking, Dana, because I have no confidence that Hamas is going to do that. Hamas's very existence is really based on killing Israelis, killing the West and fighting the West. And so until Hamas is completely destroyed, I don't suspect that Israel is going to be willing to leave the Gaza area.
You're right about that to this point. Rebecca, thanks for coming on. Rebecca Heinrichs on both those topics. Thank you.
President Trump delivering a new warning for Iran, making it clear he's in no hurry to make a deal until they agree to give up their nuclear ambitions. Last hour, he posted on Truth Social that no conversations are going on or are even scheduled. Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery is a senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. To help us puzzle through this, here's what President Trump said yesterday about Oman.
You said you would bomb the S out of Oman if they got in the way of reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Would you say you're out of patience with Oman, a strategic partner?
No, I don't think they behave very well, but we'd handle them very easily, just like we do other things.
Can you give us the context about Oman's position here?
So Oman is on the southern end of the Strait of Hormuz and Iran on the northern edge. And so geographically, they both are very involved in it. Now, as you know, the Strait of Hormuz is an international transit way. The two countries can speak to each other. They should not make some kind of deal where they control the Strait of Hormuz or they...
Anyways, guys, that's about it for this video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. आप लोग क्या सोचते हैं? And do leave a like and a subscribe if you want more of my content. That's about it. Peace out. Have fun.